air, water, earth, fire. For hundreds of years, the four nations have lived in harmony. The Avatar, master of all four elements, has always been responsible for maintaining the peace. But Avatar Roku passed away 13 years ago, and now the four nations look to the air nomads to reveal the next Avatar. But the world is met with silence. 5 young heroes stopped a secret Fire Nation invasion on their way to deliver the news of the air nomad genocide to Ba Sing Se. Now the world knows of the loss of the air nomads, and both the water tribes and the Earth Kingdom prepare for all-out war. But as harmony is dissolved, our young heroes need to address the agitated spirits and bring peace back to the world. Welcome back to the Flying Navi podcast. We're playing Avatar, the tabletop role-playing game. I think last episode, Johnny and Nick, your characters' tails were touching.
Yes, we were under that special tree.
Oh, all right. I'm just going for it.
Let's run to the wishing tree.
Under the wishing tree.
And Nick. Just
I can't help but laugh that Avatar, the James Cameron movies, are following a very elemental sequencing of the names.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the next one is something about fire. So
I think his strategy is if people accidentally stumble on to James Cameron's Avatar when they're looking for Last Airbender Avatar, they might still think they're in the right place. So then they stay invested. I think that's his whole strategy.
And that's why it's been so successful. Because everyone loves Avatar The Last Airbender, but not everybody loves Avatar the movies. But you kind of have the Venn diagram of people that stumble into it.
Poor Google. How many times has it had to field this?
Yeah.
This is
those movies. I was just gonna say they're a case study in style over substance. That's all. That's all I wanted to say.
Absolutely,
they look
absolutely
amazing.
They
look
incredible.
so beautiful.
Yeah. Look incredible. I will not go to the theaters to see it. Do not care about it that much. I did when there wasn't a pandemic. I saw it in 3D, and it was it's fun. And I forgot every plot point of the first movie.
Well, it was 13 years ago, so of course.
That is just Pocahontas. No, this is not. This is Avatar The Last Airbender. We're playing Avatar Legends, baby. Very excited. Baby. There's a lot of wisdom in Avatar The Last Airbender.
Yes.
And so this question comes from one of our new patrons. What is the best advice you've ever gotten? I'll start while you're all thinking, because that's a heavy question. That's a big question.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big, and I didn't prepare you. Sometimes I just plopping these questions on you. I had time to think about it because I see the questions. I was thinking back to, it's hard, right? It's one of those what's your favorite movie type questions? What's the best advice? I've gotten a lot of good advice. The one that sticks out to me is less advice and more something I learned in class when I was in college through one of my philosophy professors. I don't even think he was trying to make this explicit point. It was just a tangential point, but it stuck with me. He basically made the point that all your beliefs, everything that you believe that is bigger than you, that gives your life meaning, should be practical. It should have some grounded, real effect in the way that you live your life. It shouldn't just be ethereal and ephemeral. It should have some impact, not only on the way you live, but on how your life is lived. And that always stuck with me.
It's wise.
Yeah.
It's an 18.
Did you get that on a cereal box?
God damn it, Steve! You weren't supposed to. Yeah. Oh man,
it was actually.
Did I get it right?
That was last week's cornflakes tip.
It was Count Chocula, all right. Count Chocula told me that when I was 5.
Wait, Count Chocula is your sleep paralysis demon too?
Yeah. Wait, what?
No.
No, I don't feel like it's. I'm not trying to mess with your answer. I'm sorry.
No, it was funny. It was funny.
What? When I was in high school, I had a friend tell me that you have to ask for raises most of the time, and they would just give them to you. that was actually pretty good advice.
There's a practical life belief. Yeah.
Raisins?
Raises.
Yeah, you have to ask for raisins.
Yeah.
At a
You know,
certain
when
point,
you
you gotta
get
stop
raisins,
believing
you
in the
don't-
raisin fairy and start asking for the raisins you want.
raisins.
The raisins.
I can find my own ways around getting raisins without asking. But
Danny. Daniel.
good old
This is a steamy episode so far.
You know, some people's faces just say, "Give me all your raisins. I'm not going to ask."
Oh man.
Good.
Oh my god.
He's got one of those raisin stealing faces.
Pay raises. I was working at Cousin Subs in Milwaukee, and I was like, I've been working here for 2 years, and I'm still getting paid the same amount.
Oh no, Danny.
Friend was like, Danny, you're supposed to ask for a raise at the last what are they called when your boss talks to you about how bad you've been, or how
the end of the year
review.
Yeah, performance review. I was supposed to ask for a raise then. A little 17-year-old me was. Yeah. I was just excited to start dropping fries.
You shouldn't need to ask for a raise, honestly, but capitalism is exploitation.
In your defense, your bosses should have told you that you'd get a raise at the end of every year. That's pretty standard.
You're also a boy child.
I was just a little innocent gazelle-esque boy child.
Which is why they felt like they could get away with it.
Thrown into this capitalist realm that we live in. And I thought that,
You're waking in a strange place.
Oh, it's just capitalist America.
It's corporate America. All right. How about the rest of you?
I would say one piece of advice I got, someone pointed out to me. I'm one of those people. I live with kind of perpetual foot and mouth syndrome, and something that somebody told me once upon a time in another life when I was still in church world. It's like from the Bible, but I still actually like this. But it is that someone who, even a fool who keeps their mouth shut, seems wise, and I just really like that.
That's good stuff.
Just because you're quiet, you could still beat them.
It's true.
I'm going to specifically say, I read this out of a history book in like 4th grade, or maybe 3rd. It was kind of early. And it was, I think before I am, or I think therefore I am. Sorry, I think before I am. No.
Descartes.
I think therefore, yeah, Descartes. Obviously not well, it's the accepted translation of what he said, but yeah, I don't know why, but just a little kid Nick needed to hear that. Helped me sleep for the first time in a very long time. So
wow.
Yeah, very, very big existential dread questions keeping me awake as a child.
Am I?
Do I exist?
Okay.
What am I? What is the nature of me?
It's a good reflection on Che too.
Yeah. It all bleeds through, anyway.
Is
Life
everyone like
imitates
that?
art.
Because I had like so much more existential crises as a kid than I do now, I feel like. Are there just more distractions nowadays as an
It
adult?
comes and it goes. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't want to take too much time, but I gotta tell you guys a story about existential crises as a child. When I was 7, I became very, very convinced that I was actually an adult who had been in a car accident and was in a coma and was just reliving my entire life. And when I got into the car accident, I would wake up from the coma.
Stop! Really?
Yes, for real. I don't know where that came
How
from.
long was this period? Yes.
Oh, I thought that pretty ardently until I was like 16, and still occasionally it like pops into my head, and I'm like, I don't know that that's not true still.
Okay, but
You just went down and just kept going spiraling.
Johnny, that is scary similar. I had a very similar scenario where it wasn't I died, like I was in a car crash and in a coma. I had already died, and this is the life flashing before my eyes. This is like the replay.
Yeah.
So
I think the coma
Very
thing was my
similar.
subconscious mind trying to stop myself from taking it too far for me. But
that's fair. That's a good catch. I wish I had that.
I need to wake up.
Oh man, we're getting real heavy here in the Flying Bison Podcast.
Oh, that's
discovering
insane.
simulation theory as an adult really reawoken some of those old fears from that particular
I'm
childhood
sure.
issues.
I'm sure. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Monroe, wise words.
It's actually from Bruce Lee. There was a whole part that came before it, but the part that stuck with me is the quote that says, "What you are not changing, you are also choosing."
Ooh.
So there are things that are happening in your life that you complain about or you don't like, and you can change it, but you're choosing not to change it because you're also choosing to have it in your life or deal with it. And you know, he was talking about the way how you talk about yourself. And stop talking down about yourself and stuff like that. And when you're not changing, you're also choosing. But I think it could be connected to just about almost everything.
Yeah, a lot of things.
So just,
It's good.
Come on, Jesus.
Yeah, full circle goes back to like Danny's raises.
Yeah, what you don't,
Yeah,
you don't change, you choose. You chose that, Danny. That's your own fault.
Even though
Even though I didn't know it, I was choosing to live below the poverty line.
it's your fault.
Your child self just needed more agency, Danny.
My subconscious mind saw the poverty line and it chose to let me save more.
Poor because you have
There's a whole
children to be
demographic
rich.
that wants
I
you
feel like I've been
there.
lied to my entire life because my mom said something very similar, which was if you don't choose life will happen for you. If you let it, life will happen to you. This is specifically what she says. I feel like that's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
I feel like she
That's
just stole it from Bruce.
Yeah.
But I think what she's
maybe
talking
Bruce Lee
about is
stole it
that
from your mom.
I think what she was talking about is that if you don't choose something, everyone else would choose for you. Whereas well, maybe it is the same thing. But then like Bruce Lee, I think was talking, the way how I take it is that if there's a problem in your life that you can fix, but you choose not to fix it, it's because you're choosing to live with that problem.
Yeah, it's a good emphasis. It kind of centers that, are you actually making peace with and accepting a circumstance? Or should you address it and you just haven't owned that yet? You know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You can either be the sheep or the wolf.
stop it.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you either.
We're gonna talk about alphas next.
Yeah. You guys want some data wisdom?
Steve, bring us home. I don't want an explanation. Just some wise words.
Take me home with you, Steve.
This one really helped me. We don't think our way into new ways of living. We live our way into new ways of thinking.
Ooh, I like that.
Richard Rohr. Huge. No explanation.
All right.
We can do
Yep,
exposition
we're done
later
there.
if we want.
Great.
All right.
That's good stuff. Wonderful. Well, unfortunately, life has happened to Che. A bomb has exploded at his feet.
And you chose this.
You chose this.
Che chose to have a bomb explode.
No, last week we saw Rozuk finally confront Now Zhao. It's been a long time coming. I've been waiting for someone to go down under Ba Sing Se and talk to Now Zhao, so I'm glad that finally happened. And then we skipped back to the Enclave to see what Che and Leeko and Ren were up to as they finished the Sand Sailor. Leeko and Che kind of gave each other a little space. Che and Ren went to go look for the touch of Winter's heart to try and save Christmas. I mean, Winter's sky. And they tracked it down to, or they were looking for it where the last place it was, which is the Grand Archives. And as they were there investigating, a alarm was triggered. Trapped Chae inside of the Grand Archive while everyone else was investigating outside. Chae saw a bunch of people that looked like they were up to no good on the second floor and went chasing after them and got into a fight. Found out that they were stealing what looked to be like a very old antique sand sailor. Eventually Ren slid under the door, and at that point they had both gotten up there, were able to stop the people from stealing the sand sailor. They took out the big boss of this gang, but as the minions were escaping, Chae tried to throw a bomb. And lo and behold, they had a bomb expert themselves who just lobbed one back at Chae. And we opened on an explosion at Chae's feet. Directly at Chae's feet. We will not open there, though. We will open to the sound of wind. Just whistling. And as the camera opens up, we see that it's wind sort of rustling and whistling at these ancient gnarled looking trees that are growing out of a mountain. We see kids in orange robes that are running around a field on the top of one of these mountains, just sort of chasing each other. And we see an old bald man sort of hobble up. And we're far enough away that we can't hear the conversation, but the kids immediately stop playing. And then they get into lines and start going through forms. Looks like airbending forms. Except as we start walking through the line, we can see that everyone's in a very uniform position. And then there's one empty spot in the middle of the line. And our camera just continues to zoom past this to another one of these spires. And we zoom into what looks to be just a door, a regular old door. And from behind it, we just hear the sound of, it sounds like rustling as well. Maybe this a similar timbre to the rustling of the wind. But as we go through the door, we see that it is a young Osa. And he's currently wrestling with a wrapper of something that's it's covering food. Osa, when did your airbending training start? How old are you?
So I've been training since I was 4. But here now I'm 10. And this particular day is the day that the merchants come through, and I always sneak a bunch of meat when the carts by. And I rush up to this room that no one really uses, and I'm just scarfing down what is basically this world's equivalent to pork rinds.
You are shoveling this down your throat, and then you hear on the door.
I just start frantically putting all of the food away and trying to shove it in my pockets and hide it under all kinds of dusty shelves and things like that are in this room.
And then another. I promise I'm not going to get you in trouble.
I stop and I just rush over to the door and I open it. Come on, get in.
Oh, okay. Come on. All right.
Move faster. Come on.
I'm sorry. Kitsune sort of stumbles into, and we see a young Kitsune. I smelled food. I thought maybe you'd want to share. I'm Kitsune, by the way.
Osa, I knew I shouldn't have cooked it. Okay, you can't tell anyone because it's meat, though. You can have some, but just...
Wait, we're allowed to eat meat?
No, that's why you can't talk about it.
Okay, I think I'm getting it. Okay, I eat the meat. I can't say I ate it.
Yeah, exactly.
What if it's really good?
If it's really good and you don't tell anyone, then next time the merchants come, I'll get more for you.
All right, deal.
All right.
He just sort of plops down next to you.
I start shuffling the food back out of all the places I was hiding it, and I start just splitting it between us.
You know, it's really kind of fortunate. I don't really want to go through those forms again.
Yeah. I like going through the forums, honestly. It's just the food's so good. They only, I don't want to wait for the meal times, and I have this and it's up here and just waiting for me, and so I sneak away and I eat it.
That makes sense. No, I just meant because I'm so good at the forms that it's kind of boring to do them.
Oh, I think I've seen you do them before. I can help you maybe get better if you want. You're really good. I think maybe if we practice together, though, like, it would definitely help me get better.
Oh, well, if it's to teach someone else, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. How long have you been here?
This is my 6th year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
How long have you?
I don't know. I lost count at some point.
Okay.
I also can't really count that high.
If you want, we could practice that too.
All right. Okay. You teach me to count. I'll show you how to airbend.
Okay. Deal.
Before you know it, I'm going to be a mathematician and we're both going to be master airbenders.
Yeah. We'll definitely be masters someday. We'll run this place together.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, is it kind of hot in here? And he kind of reaches up and like yanks the sleeves off of his robe. Oh, that's better. Okay. All right. To us. Airbending masters.
Yeah. Airbending masters.
And you continue to dig into the crinkling of the bag, and it sort of transitions into the wind whipping past Osa's face as he's flying on Chad back towards the Enclave. And again, because I'm not good with geography and time, and because I want you all to get back together, I'm just going to say that Osa and Rozuk get back to the Enclave at about the same time.
Perfect.
Does that work? I don't know. Mazel tov.
Doesn't know.
Mazel tov.
He just cheers the camera for the audience, so you know. And I also don't really feel like making you roleplay finding a way back into the Enclave. So we'll say that there's some sort of like knock or message or something that they gave you to let someone on the other side know to let you in.
Perfect.
But yeah, I think maybe like Osa, you're like still tying Rue up at the animal husbandry place that she's staying at when Rosa comes in. Chad, sorry. You were putting Chad up on the post when Rosa comes in with Rue.
Oh, hey. Where's everybody else? Did you took Rue?
Oh, yeah. I had to go to passing say, it's a lot. Where'd you go?
Oh,
I guess you don't need to answer that if you don't want to. I don't want to.
No, You know, I'm whatever. I went to the Southern Air Temple.
Oh.
Yeah. What were you doing in Ba Sing Se?
Having a little family reunion. We should go find everyone else.
Yeah, let's do that.
Both gave the most vague answers we could possibly get.
You hitch up Rue and Chad and make your way back to the Broken Arrow Inn. Is there anything you'd like to do on the way?
Yeah, I actually, while we're walking, I think Osa is like awkwardly quiet. He, normally he would try and make conversation with you, but he's been really quiet up to this point. And a little ways before we reach the inn, he just goes, "Hey, if you knew that one of your friends, maybe one of us, maybe somebody else, if you knew someone you loved was going to betray you, what would you do?"
I guess I'd try my best to figure out why. And if I find out they're not at a point of no return, then I would do whatever I can to bring them back.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. All right, let's keep going. That's enough hypothetical questions for one day.
Yeah, and you were saying Osa was like walking like kind of like awkwardly, but Rozuk, if the entire walk there, he just sort of like the entire time he just sort of been walking with his eyes to the floor, like his hat basically mostly covering his face. And for like the first time in a while, he seems like not really awkward in the silence at all. He's just set on getting to the inn and finding out where everyone is.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that Osa probably starts to pick up on that. He's been in his own head, but starts to pick up on that like late game. Like we might be like at the door when he's like, "Hey, are you okay?"
Honestly, also I feel great. I got some questions answered, and I think I know what I have to do now. And then Rozuk opens the door and starts to walk into the inn while looking at Osa.
And
yeah, good.
As the two of you walk in, it is dead quiet in here, which is weird because it's like the middle of the day.
Yeah.
There's only 3 people in here. There's Melor and Hin and Batai, the owner. And when the door opens, the 3 of them look in your direction, and you can see in their faces that their faces are just crestfallen. And they see Rozuk. And Batai goes, Rozuk, where have you been?
Passing say, where's Che?
Something happened, and I would like, Osa, for you to mark a destiny track as just that vague, like something happened. You're worried you've now just lost the thing that you love the most because you have no idea what happened.
Yeah, that fills up my track.
Okay, great. Think about, we'll get to that in a second. I don't want to cut the flow off too much of this.
Yeah. I don't even know what that means.
We'll get to it in a second.
I was going to die again?
But Ty just looks at you and goes, I was like, I'm sorry.
What happened?
Jay's no longer with us.
No. What? Tell me what happened.
Wait, I'm sorry. I get that came out. It's because he's next door at the hospital. He's no longer here in this inn.
Rose like bursts outside.
Osa like turns to follow, but then stops and goes, "You really need to reconsider the way you share important news." And then just turns around and follows Rosa.
You're such a. For all of the listeners, he just randomly messaged me privately that he's like, I have to kill Che. Like, what?
I think I saw your face when you. Oh my gosh. All right. Sprinting to the hospital.
Yeah, it's just next door.
Rose pissed now.
Yeah. You burst in. Excuse me. Are you here to see somebody?
My brother.
Oh, you're the. Oh God, I'm so sorry. Please write this.
It just knows from the relation. Oh, there's only one person with a brother in this hospital.
There's just one person in this hospital.
Several people, but all of them are orphans and have no
they're all orphans.
No, all of them are sisters.
They're all women.
They're all women.
This is a women's hospital. They just brought shit here for some reason.
The women's only
closest hospital. Oh, that's funny. This attendant leads you into a room, and you see your friends. You see Ren and you see Leeko, and they are standing over a bed with an unconscious Che. And they're standing next to a figure as well, too. And I think you would all recognize him. Ren would recognize him. No, Ren would be the only one who... Ren and Leeko would be the only one who does not recognize them. Because it is a man in very fancy waterbending outfit. And he has his hands like over Che, and you can see that there's like healing water. He's healing Che. And he stops for a moment and looks at the two of you and goes, "What's going on, baby? Welcome to the show."
They actually let you in. Oh wait, I wasn't there. Osa doesn't know this guy either. That was Shoban, actually.
It was.
No, never mind. So Osa doesn't say what I just said.
You work at the hospital or something?
Nah, baby, I'm just rolling on through.
I let a random person into this room to. What are you doing to Che?
Son, you've been here this entire time. I've been healing him.
Rozuk story just ignores.
Asking these questions. What did you think I was doing this entire time?
Just been standing there in shock this entire time.
The dude just implied that he just rolled through town and showed up over Che with water. So I don't even know that Ren knows that you can heal properly with water. We didn't trust a waterbender who came to promise healing last time.
It's the same guy. It's the same guy.
It's the same guy. But that was because you thought he was the guy that Che trapped in the wall.
But now you see that he's not.
Look, I'm not just a random person. All right, I'm New Winnatic. I'm like the most famous actor in the Northern Water Tribes.
Oh yeah.
This is why warming up is so important, because I just realized that I was already in the room when you came in. So I just been there for hours not asking questions.
Yep.
Just watching you heal him. Damn it.
Rose like looks at Leeko and Ren and says, what happened? And he's standing over Chaenao. He's standing over Chaenao now.
He's been doing this water thing. Leeko, you could explain it better.
Who are you asking about? The guy who's healing, trying to heal him, or
asking about why my brother is unconscious in a hospital bed.
That's what I thought. Justin, do I know?
Nwinitik, by the way.
I'm not going to remember that.
Great supporter of the pod. Thank you.
I don't know any of your names either. So Nwinitik. I've said my name a few times now. So
I'm talking to Justin. Dude, does Leeko know what happened to Jay? I'm not talking to you.
I can't get through. Justin, are you there?
I'm into
Justin.
He's full Nwinitik. He's gone full Nwinitik.
Full Nwinitik. No. I think at this point, Leeko and Ren would probably know what happened, which is Ren would have probably told Leeko, which is that a bomb exploded right underneath Che, knocked him unconscious. There's broken bones. He got flung back into the wall. There's burn marks from the bomb exploding right next to him. He's not conscious, but he's stable. But there's quite a lot of hurt.
Rin looks really crestfallen as you ask that question, Rozuk, and just says,
"It was my fault. We were helping."
Who are you helping, Ren?
What does that mean?
We were trying to help those people get the touch of winter back.
I thought we decided not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so too, and then I think Jay wanted to make me feel better and help me out, but it was my fault.
So who did this to him?
A bunch of thieves.
Justin, would Ren have any knowledge about the thieves? Did they get captured?
Because we took out we did pretty good.
So you took out the leader. You took out the leader, and the other people got away.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the point of the miss, is you were trying to stop them from getting away, and they got away.
The way the tribe's people have been, I'm guessing that they wouldn't let me stick around for the interrogation or detainment of the leader. So I probably got nothing, right?
Right now, no. You can always take the law into your own hands, Ren.
That's my problem.
Upon hearing this, Rozuk just sort of, maybe he's leaning on the bed itself. He sort of just slams his fist maybe onto the frame or a wall, anything hard in his closest vicinity. And he goes, "If I was here, this wouldn't have happened. I should have stayed."
Osa just puts a hand on Rozuk's shoulder and doesn't say anything and walks around the other side of Che's bed and looks at Nwinitik and kind of puts his hands similar positions but opposite, and you guys see as the spots where his tattoos would be if he'd gained mastery start glowing, and scars start appearing along his arms and neck.
Oh, sorry. Are you sure?
He doesn't say anything.
Scars start appearing on whose neck?
Osa's.
On Osa's.
Osa's. Okay, let's make sure.
Osa, as you do this, so you're using self-sacrificing first, which is one of your destiny signs, which normally has to be an incoming blow. I'm narratively okay with this sort of preemptively working, at least just in a narrative sense of like getting Che conscious and up again. But what also happens, you do this, and there has been one thing on your mind, almost even when you walked into this room, even with Che's condition, the only thing on your mind is your conversation with Ketsune. And you have a vision, and it is you on top of Hawashu's mount, way up high on his mountain in the spirit world. And there's no one else around you. You can't even feel Hawashu's presence. But you have a overwhelming sense of betrayal. And not the kind of betrayal where like someone you met eventually betrayed you, but somebody deeply personal to you, somebody that you would consider a friend betrays you. And that is one of your destiny details. I will weather a trail by one of my closest friends. And sorry, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say, as Osa is having that vision and continuing to try and help heal Che, everyone else, anyone who's looking, would just see like he's so focused on trying to heal, he's not trying to hide anything, and so he's just like sobbing as he does this now.
I think Rozuk will also, maybe at first he sees it, he like unspeakingly like jolts, maybe tries to stop it, but I think now Rozuk will go next to Osa and put his arm around him and sort of try to like basically sort of like shadow what he's doing while keeping his one hand on Osa's shoulder and his other arm across Osa's. Just, I don't know, kind of like an embrace to try to help or soothe whatever's happening.
Yeah.
Ren stands on the opposite side, so I'll join as well, and just asks Osa,
is there any way you can give some to me?
Again, Osa doesn't say anything, but you notice like he just slightly shakes his head.
Okay.
Leeko, what are you doing?
I'm just watching Che.
As everyone else's attention is on Osa and Nwinitik as they're healing Che, Leeko is still just staring at Che. And you start to see his eyes flutter open.
Ow. Oh. What? Oh, actually, I know what happened. Hey. Why is he glowing again? Why is Nwinitik here?
When they want to heal it, they call me, baby.
Yeah, well, really, Osa did the job, so you can go now.
All right. He puts on these shades.
Wait, well, am I healed?
See you around.
You probably see Osa with all those scars.
Look, I am a very experienced water healer, actor, playwright. Incredible, I know. You're probably going to want to rest a little bit, but I don't know. Rest. You can walk around, baby.
Nwinitik, do you even know what Osa just did?
Don't ask him any questions. Just let him leave. Just let him go. Bye. Thanks.
Peace.
Osa, why do you look so messed up?
It's nothing. Don't worry about me. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, considering I should look like you do right now.
Feeling good is good.
You know, it feels like confusingly like it's not, honestly.
I guess I should lie in the hospital bed now.
He took some of your scars and wounds. Doing that thing he does.
It doesn't hurt. It's fine.
Right. There's no downside whatsoever.
I just get a little uglier, but whatever.
It looks
doesn't make you uglier. Definitely. So what happened? Ren, did we get the thing?
The sand sailor?
What? No, the rock.
Ren's all over the place right now.
I heard some people talking about it in the square. I think they have the rock still. We scared the thieves away. And
we didn't even catch them?
No, we took out the head honcho before the bomb went off.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened with him. They just got me out of there and were yelling about how we were disrupting stuff. How they're not supposed to even have foreigners. Thank you for trying to help me. I didn't want you to get hurt like this.
Well, that was because of you. That was because of the bomb. They didn't care that we saved their boat thing? What even was the boat?
No one said. They just dragged me out of there.
Okay, very helpful. Well, you try to do a nice thing for people. That was also potentially self-serving.
Justin, did I hear any glimpse of anything about the boat on the way out to the hospital?
Sure, absolutely. I'm not even gonna make you roll.
Yes.
It is one of the original sand sailors, and it was made with a special wood that you can no longer find in the Siwang Desert. That apparently made the, one of the first few sand sailors a little bit more aerodynamic.
All right. That's something. But I don't think Ren would think that was important enough to relay, honestly. Just like,
I don't know. Maybe it was a good sand sailor, but they really risked a lot to get it.
Yeah. Wow. Everybody's back. We can, I'm pretty sure the race is tomorrow, unless I lost today.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how'd prepping the sand sailor.
Oh, wait, great. Thanks for checking in, helping out, being there. Great.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I can only bash you for it because I also just took my wounds, so I can't really be salty about that.
Yeah, I'll take it. But we should so there's no more preparation for that at all? Everything's set?
No, it's just gonna be you and me on there.
All right.
Oh, and the twins. It's their boat. Sand sailor, whatever.
Yeah.
What?
Rozuk.
Oh.
Is Rue back?
Rue is safe and sound in the animal place. I am so sorry, Leeko. I planned to take Chad, but I got there and obviously Chad was gone. Rue me and Rue had a great time. He wasn't in any danger. Just took him to Ba Sing Se. We flew straight there and straight back. I'm very sorry.
I look at Shay and I say, I'm glad you're okay. And then I walk away to go to Rue.
Man, I am not feeling it. All right. Wow. Anybody got any ideas for what to do? I'm just kidding. I have plans. Goodbye. And Shay leaves.
just hops out of the hospital bed.
He pops back in the door and is like, Ren, did you want to check out, like follow up on all that stuff or no?
Oh, no. I'm sorry I got anybody into it, but thank you.
Oh, well, I'm going to go check it out anyways, so.
Oh.
And he like suggestively like slowly inches out the doorway as he's trying to like
a little head tilt.
Lure. Yeah. You want to come?
Ren follows wordlessly.
Yeah. As Ren steps away, Osa grabs his hand and says, "Hey, do you mind if I tag along?"
Of course you can come. I was sad you ever left.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at some point. Let's go do this thing.
Okay.
So I'm sure you have incredible adventures that you're going to share with us at some time.
Ren is smiling, but clearly looks perplexed by the responses. Like Che almost just died, and we're just like popping out of this hospital with some chipper.
Che doesn't have time for this.
Did Che just say that out loud, Nick? The incredible adventures thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if he heard you, that is his actual reaction.
I wasn't saying it quietly, so it wasn't fun. It was terrible and heartbreaking, and I will tell you about it. Not right now.
That's not suspenseful at all.
Yeah, no, I don't really have a follow up to that one.
Great, let's go. You coming,
okay.
Yeah. Rozuk will follow. Justin, real quick, on the at any point during Rozuk's quick meander over to Ba Sing Se, would he have been able to recenter?
Tell me what you did
On the trip?
Yeah, what does Rozuk do to recenter himself?
Well, I mean, it really would have, the only moment he would have had where would probably be the ride there and or the ride back. So I don't know. Seems like a calming flight. He unraveled the PP on his hat. That was probably pretty meditative for him.
All right, I'll give it to you this time. Right, but the text does say when you have time to recenter yourself, which does indicate some sort of meditative calming practice. It's not just traveling.
He was he was unpeepeeing his PP hat.
The unpeepee the PP hat.
The unpeepeeing.
Before we follow someone, and I actually think the camera would follow Leeko for a little bit. I want to see what's going through her head and the conversation she has with, I'm assuming, Rue. Before we do that, though, I want to know what new Destiny sign. Well, first off, do you want to explain the Destiny track? I know we've done it before, but it's been a while.
Yeah, so the Destiny track. Yeah, the Destiny track is part of the Destined playbook, which is Osa's new playbook. Not so new now, but it's the playbook he has since he came back to life. And there's a Destiny that he is kind of pursuing that's coming for him one way or another. And there's a Destiny track, which is 5 slots when certain criteria are met, including using some of the Destiny signs themselves. You mark Destiny track. When you fill up the Destiny track, you get a new Destiny sign until eventually you meet your fate.
Yeah, the last Destiny sign is meet your fate. So you started with self-sacrifice, you filled up your Destiny track, you get a new Destiny sign. Which Destiny sign did you pick?
I am going to take Tremble Before Me.
Okay, all right. Do you want to read that?
Yeah, I can. So it says, mark your destiny track and reveal a glimpse of your otherworldly aspect to intimidate an NPC as if you rolled 10 plus. Afterward, their fear and mistrust of you knows no bounds. You cannot guide and comfort or plead with that NPC until you have earned their trust.
I love that. I love that so much. All right. Already gets my wheels a turning. Wonderful. We'll have to see when that shows up in the story. For now, though, Leeko, you get to the hatchery and you see Rue. She is apparently very happy and content, but she sees you and lets out like a very loving sort of whine, you know, that like dogs do when they or cats when they see them. Nuzzles up next to you.
I give her a big hug, and then is there any place like around here that I can has like food to give her that's already ready, or
Totally.
did I?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I just fill up her little bowl, I guess you can call it, with some food, and then I start. I'm assuming I have like a little bag with me because I just kind of carry it around. And one of the things that I carry in my bag is a brush, so I can just comb her. And that's all I do. We're just quiet, and I can hear her purring, or like that otter purr kind of thing, as I just silently comb her and do repeated strokes.
And Rue is used to like the silence between the two of you, and so she doesn't, push or anything. I want to know though, what is going through Leeko's head?
A lot of things. She's right now. What I'm thinking about is, does the life that I'm leading right now have any purpose? And do the people who are currently in my life every day supporting that purpose that, and what is that purpose anyway? Am I just wasting my time here? It's becoming very clear to me at this point that not that we're procrastinators, but that it takes so long to achieve one goal, and we end up getting distracted by so many other goals, and we end up hurting ourselves and hurting each other. And I'm not sure if this is where I want to be anymore.
Wow, big questions. Well, we'll see if
she's growing up.
She's growing up. Those are big questions. Let's we'll put a pin in those questions. Maybe we'll answer them. Maybe we'll let them linger for a while. The four knuckleheads are making their way back to the Grand Archives, I'm assuming. Where are you boys headed?
That is where I'm leading us.
Okay.
We finally have a group name, Leeko and the Knuckleheads.
Leeko and the Knuckleheads.
It's a great band name.
There you go. It is fantastic.
That's pretty good.
It's not going to convince her to stay. That might make her leave, actually.
And then you'll just be the knuckleheads, and that's not as catchy.
Yeah, that's honestly
good.
just sad.
It's just derogatory at that point. You get to the Grand Archive, and it is cordoned off still by police tape as it was last time. And
right,
what's up?
I was going to say the chieftain was here last time. Is she still here?
Yeah, Matoya is here. Yep, she's still wearing that amazingly cool leather eye patch made out of land shark leather, passed down from mare to mare. It looks super cool.
Was it just an eye patch? I thought it was a coat.
Mayor have?
I said eye patch, right?
It was 2 eye patches, one on each eye.
It's fast from mare to mare.
Look, sometimes I just say things. It just so happens that Matoya could use an eye patch. All the other mares just have it symbolically.
So Matoya is the mayor, though, not just a detective.
Correct.
Did we know that?
Right. We established that last episode.
Okay, cool.
She is in charge. She didn't call herself the mayor. She's like in charge of the Enclave. She's sort of like the head of the council of like tribes, basically.
But functionally,
it's not clear how much power that would actually.
Functionally, if we were to put a title on it, she is a mayor of some sort. Yes,
we can.
I was trying to avoid that language because I know y'all's back history with mayors. So,
guys, I'm starting to come around on mayors. So,
she sees you and she's like, "How are you up? How are you up right now?"
A really good healer.
I mean, the Winnetic is good. He's not that good.
He
said it was going to take a few days.
Oh, correct.
Gosh.
He is not that good.
He's good.
He's good. He's very good.
He had help. Anyways, what happened with the guy?
We put him away. Do you want to? I'm assuming you want to talk to him. By all means, it's the least I can do.
I don't care about him at all.
Cool. We'll just let him rot in prison forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, no, that's great. So he just wanted the sailor the whole time?
I guess. Honestly, your guess is as good as mine. Obviously, stealing the Touch of Winter Sky was a distraction. And they knew that if they stole it, we would be on high alert. And then they could lock the place down, put us out of it, steal the Sand Sailor, bada bing, bada boom. Why? I don't know.
Probably for the race, right? I mean,
that's what I was thinking. I was literally just about to say we have the Dust Bowl race tomorrow. So,
yeah.
Is there something special about that Sand Sailor?
It's super old. It's apparently made out of wood that's supposed to be a little bit more aerodynamic than the wood we use now. The wood we use now is cheaper and easier to find. So, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to gather an advantage in the race.
Seems like a kind of far-fetched strategy.
I mean, I won't disagree with you.
Crazy. Anyways, so the Touch of Winter, though.
Oh, no. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. No. So the Touch of Winter is... The Touch of Winter is back where it was.
Unfortunately, when we heard the explosion, we ran inside. Just got the gate open in time, and when we came out, it was gone again. And I think that the people that were standing around guarding it were actually part of the gang disguise. Yeah, I don't know. I started an internal investigation, but at this point, not a lot. Not a lot we can
bites.
do. It kind of does.
Yeah. Did you guys want me to clean up that crystal I left? It's probably hard for you guys to bend out of the way.
That would be great. That's wild, by the way, too. That's so cool. Would you ever want to teach some of my force that?
I don't even think I'm supposed to know it, so I don't.
Okay.
I should.
All right.
Well, Brent nods in agreement with Jay, encouragingly.
Anyway, well, I'll go clean that up.
The world's better if only you can do that. And that king,
he whispers.
Also Boomy.
Oh, yeah, and Boomy.
And whoever else they may have taught.
Literally any guy Boomy runs into on the street.
Do you want to know how to bend a crystal?
What?
Hey, you get a crystal. Hey, you
get a crystal. You get a crystal.
We gotta bring Boomy back. I need some Boomy in my life. God.
What's the plan, friends?
I was gonna. So I'm cleaning up the crystal, right?
Yeah.
And I had like encased like in like a large lattice like structure, like basically the whole ship.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to, as discreetly as I can.
Yeah.
I'm like retracting the crystals, sort of shrinking them down, and I will accidentally just lop one like whole like chunk off of a crystal as I'm retracting it, and it'll just crash down onto this ship.
Oh my god.
Whoops.
Jay, did you?
What is your intent? And I know physically it
trying
is to destroy the Sand Sailor.
Break something important. And I'm taking foolhardy action without talking to my companions. So I'm hoping I can clear some conditions. That is the purpose of doing.
I will give you the break something important for sure.
Okay.
Doesn't seem totally foolhardy to me. It seems like a pretty nice thing to do to try and get the crystal out.
Oh, but he's purposefully breaking off a piece to...
He's purposefully trying to destroy the Sand Sailor.
To be clear, he's pissed that they lost the touch of winter again.
Okay.
So he's going to teach them a lesson about breaking an heirloom.
Then in that
he
case... He
doesn't even care. He's just pissed.
In that case... I'm trying to decide if Matoya is in there with you or not. Yeah, I think she had led you to the Sand Sailor just to stay with you. Can I have you trick? That's the price of getting of clearing the foolhardy actions.
Okay. Okay, it would be bad, but creativity I have a +3, so I rolled a 5 +3.
Okay, so you get to pick one of those options.
Okay, let me see.
So they stumble, you take +1 for it against them. They act foolishly and they give you an extra opportunity, or they overcommit and they're deceived. In this case, they won't know that you purposely broke the Sand Sailor.
Yeah, I want that one.
Okay.
One where they don't. Yeah, he'll just be like, "Oh, sorry, the crystals are much more fragile than I realized. I'm sorry."
Yeah, I like it too if Ren and Rozuk and Osa know Chaenao well enough to know that this is no accident.
Oh yeah.
Ren looks at the smashed boat and just sighs.
Well, no one's using that.
That. It's all right. Honestly, I didn't even know we could bend crystals. So the fact that you covered it is really impressive. I don't know. If I'm going to be honest, I didn't quite expect you to get it out in one piece anyway. So.
All right. Yeah, I'm very sorry. I'll lift that out of there, and he will gently lift it out and try to like plop it over.
Just a piece of our history that has kept our civilization going and going for generations, but that's fine. We'll find another one, I guess.
Oh, it's still there. Sorry. Anyways, and he'll collect all the crystal and get out of there.
Yeah.
Ren walks up to the smashed ship and looks inside at the remains. Can I assess the situation?
Please. That sounds like you're assessing the situation.
Okay.
Ho.
8. What here can I use to determine the thieves' plan?
Oh, look, one of them wrote down their plan and they left it here.
Excellent. Ren's just wondering if there's anything inside the ship, if it's not about the ship, you know?
Sure. I gotcha. Yeah. Ren, I'll put this out there and just leave it there. All right. It might not mean anything to you right now, but take a note. Very faded in one of the stilts of the wood, there is like a signature, right? Not like a written signature that you would write with your name, but like a calling card to denote like who made this. And it is very faded, so it's very difficult to tell exactly what it is, but it looks like some sort of simian, maybe simian-like creature.
Okay. Red follows after Che.
As we're walking back, we kind of like get some distance between us and Matoya. Where I was like, we'll say, Che, I'm confused.
I can't believe those idiots lost the rock after it was literally handed to them. It was inside of their hands. How do you lose a rock twice? It's a rock. Corruption. There's not many rocks to confuse it with. We're in a desert.
I don't think destroying a historical artifact was the right thing to do.
The artifact is fine. They're not using it anyways. They're not taking it.
Why are you trying to find the touch of winter in the first place?
I just wanted to use it for something. Just for a little bit.
So it's not even to help.
They would have gotten it back. They would have gotten it, and they would have been able to use it for whatever they needed to use it for. I just wanted to borrow it for a little bit.
What did you want to use it for?
I don't know. Just thought it would be cool to have like on a table.
Rose's gonna roll suspicious mind.
Yeah, I want to so bad, but I don't have it.
Rose's gonna roll suspicious mind. Please.
Okay.
It's cool to have on a table. Okay. That's an 11. Ooh. Good old.
You have your suspicions.
Call me the tank engine.
Are you spending one?
Oh yes. Rose likes to spend one right now and say, Chaenao, I think you and I both know you don't just want that to put on the table. What were you going to use that for?
Okay. I do just want to put it on the table, but like a table with maybe some like nice food and like a fine dining set potentially. I'd probably have to steal that.
So you wanted to treat us all to dinner?
Well, not everyone of you. Actually, none of you.
Oh my gosh! Rozuk says under his breath, he wants to use it for a date, guys.
You were going to journey with Leeko to the Seawong? That's what they say around here.
Do their whole stupid tradition thing. Oh, wait, is that like a euphemism? What is that?
Oh, actually, I don't know.
Wait, maybe
now it is. Now it is.
I'll take you to the Seawong, baby.
Now it is. Yeah.
Hey, we can help you participate. We can help you set up We can help you set up a nice time, a romantic date or something.
And without some weird rock.
Yeah, you don't.
It's supposed to look cool. I thought it would look. It was kind of unimpressive, honestly, when they saw it. It felt really weird, though. Let me tell you.
Do you think Leeko would even think that it's that important to have the rock?
I don't think she cares about rocks, but
right. But I thought it would look really cool, like.
Well,
and also it's like some cultural cornerstone.
Why don't we just all go back to the inn and we set up and we make it like super nice without the rock, and that way we don't waste the time. We could use all of that time to make it look nice without the rock, because the rock wasn't going to make it, and then you were going to end up not having as much time to do all the stuff that's actually
they
important.
just like they talked about this like thing. It was like the touch of winter is like all like magical sounding. I thought like, yeah, I'll just take that. And
you honestly, Che, you could probably make an even cooler centerpiece with your crystals.
Yeah, and it's the touch of winter sounds kind of cool, I guess, but it's you that Leeko would be there for. She doesn't care about some rock.
She doesn't want the touch of winter. She wants
unless you think she really cares about the rock. Yeah, that's what I'm. Wait. Yeah, like your touch on the table.
Personal touches,
like making it look. That was what I mean.
Well, let's go. We can help you.
Yeah, let's make this table.
You get back to the ties.
Meanwhile, Leeko is considering leaving the group once again.
I know. No, I love it. No, I love the parallel stories are great.
Justin, real quick, how long does hold last? How long does hold last?
For the scene. So you're kind of interrogating Che still if you want to ask him some questions.
Okay, because I wanted to spend the last one at some point.
Totally, please.
I can. Okay. So when maybe like on our way back, when maybe like Rozuk and Che like kind of like fall back a bit, like a little bit behind Osa and Ren, and Rozuk kind of this seems kind of out of the ordinary for Che, like this random like great romantic gesture for Leeko.
Also, this only happens like Che only gets caught like alone with you because he looks so dejected right now. He looks he looks broken. Like he just got blown up and he looks broken now. Okay. Anyways.
Okay. And Rozuk will just be like, I think it's really cool that you're doing this thing for Leeko, but I mean,
what?
I it just seems, I don't know, not like you, and it seems like there's a reason for this. So I guess what I'm asking is, what are you worried about? That's one of the suspicious mind questions. Tell me now.
I mean, Rozuk just whispers that to him.
Finally, Rozuk just real close, big bro energy. Tell me now.
If this was a PG-13 like movie, that would be the one F-bomb for sure. That would have been good.
I can just imagine the scene. He just cuts really close to his ears.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so
dumb. It's dumb. So dumb.
What was your exact question?
His exact question was basically like, it seems like there's a reasoning behind this gesture towards Leeko, and he's wondering what that is. It seems like you're worried about something, so he's wondering what that is. Like it seems to Rose like that there's something you're trying to fix through this.
He'll stop. He stops walking. He looks down. I feel different. I'm gonna look up at you. I feel different. Like I'm different. And everyone's treating me different. And it's well, Ren isn't treating me different, but everyone else is. It's just, I just felt like if I could do something special, things would be better. And then he walks past you.
Yeah, Rozuk will follow. So I think Rozuk, upon hearing that, like in his mind, he heard everyone's treating me different. In Rozuk's head, he feels that he has been like treating Che kind of like consistently the same throughout. So even if like it weren't real, that almost like confirmed in Rozuk's head that he's the one who the tree spirit took away.
I don't think that's a leap at all.
No, I get it. I get it for sure. That makes sense. Because he wouldn't have any memories of how Rozuk treated him before. Yeah. I get you. Yeah, I get you.
You're vibing.
Vibing.
We get back to Bataya's, the Broken Arrow Inn. Is the plan to just set up a romantic date for Che?
I think we're gonna see if we can like rent out the entire place.
You totally.
I was just need to make sure that no one else is there.
Yeah, no, I was gonna see if there's a private dining room. I'll say this again. I think if there's a private dining room, Leeko might like that better. I don't think she's gonna want like a huge open area, right? If they had something intimate but away, nobody else can be in there, just the two of them.
Oh, do you guys have a balcony?
And maybe a full band.
A balcony would be good because then if she wants, Rue could join you.
I'm kidding about the band, Jay. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you.
Wow. I mean, I already kind of closed the place down because we were worried about Che. I'm sorry. Che's up? Che, what are you doing up?
It was just an explosion.
His wounds were superficial. Back to what's important.
His wounds were superficial. It was a superficial bomb.
It was a flesh wound.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the whole place, I kicked everyone out. You can have it. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
But
Do you guys have a kitchen?
Yeah, no, I cook.
Oh, can I use it? Can I do some cooking?
Please. Absolutely.
Great.
Also, you know vegetarian cooking, right? Like,
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I can cook all the best food we had at the air temple.
That's brilliant.
Nice. You can slip a little meat in mine.
You got it, bud. I'm not going to. I don't have any meat on me.
Ren is super into this and just has all these fabrics that he's going through really quickly. And he's like, so which one is more Leeko's color? Like dark sage or like light sage or like this middle sage or none of these sages?
I don't think all three of those colors could possibly be sage.
Oh. Or then this sort of off mint and this sort of like emerald adjacent.
I think
forest
the darker one.
Yeah. Well, that one's like the same color as her outfit. You don't want her to match the tablecloth, so go with one that doesn't clash but doesn't look exactly the same as her clothes.
You're a genius, Osa.
Ren picks out the like lighter sage.
I want to put a pin on this. I love this. This is so funny. Leeko.
Meanwhile, Leeko's just gone. She has
Leeko.
She left.
She's just gone. Yeah, what do? You're done sort of stroking Rue's fur. Rue is happy and fed. What do you do next?
I'm laying down on her back. She's sleeping too. Or she's not, I'm not sleeping. So forget the two. She's sleeping. I'm just resting on her back. I'm just thinking about things, and then I decide I've made a decision of, what to do at this point. And I slide off Rue, and then I make my way out, but then I stop and I go, wait, I don't know if I should do this. And then I turn around, I go back to Rue, and Rue starts waking up, and I ask, should I do that?
And she sort of pushes her muzzle into you to encourage you to go for it.
But he's not the same, so how would he know if I touch, he's not. You're always right. Okay. So I turn back around and I try to walk out, and then I stop and I go, no, I can't do it. I go back and I just run to her.
She bends down to like let you embrace her. And she does something that has been comforting throughout this entire show so far. She'll do one of those snow flurries just sort of around you. And she just looks you in the eye.
And then I just kind of snuggle with her for a second. And then I say, okay. Well, we'll find out if he's still the same. And then I decide to walk out there. I do hesitate, but then I decide to keep walking out.
Where are you headed?
I'm headed back into
the Broken Arrow Inn.
Yeah. It's the inn, right?
Yes, yeah.
I was gonna say hotel, but I don't think that's the same thing.
Close enough. What is a hotel in a fantasy world if not an inn? Leeko, when you walk in, the lights are dimmed. There's no one in here. There's a single table that is ornately decorated, and standing behind it is Che.
Hi.
Hello.
Did
you want to have dinner?
Okay. Are the guys coming?
No, just you and me.
I look around, and what do I see, Justin?
Why don't the rest of you tell me?
Okay, I want to go last, just to be clear.
Yeah, what did each of you contribute to this date scene?
Ren could not find vegetation, so he draped a bunch of vine-like ribbons of dark green and emerald on the rafters.
That's pretty. And I think too, like maybe some of it are like some of Che's crystals. So like as these vines are sort of like spinning, they're sort of like glitting in the light.
I like where your head is at. Yes. Anyone else?
Rozuk?
What did you cook? Yeah, or what did you do, Rozuk? I don't know.
Yeah, what did you cook? I think that's a very good thing that Osa could contribute.
Yeah. So they as soon as Osa got the go ahead to start cooking, he ran into the kitchen and just started. He kind of. I imagine that there were probably some ingredients that he was told like those are expensive and like special occasions, like don't use those. And those were like the first things he started rifling through as soon as he had the kitchen to himself. And so knowing Leeko and Che want some alone time, he made all this stuff and is out on the table already. It's like he's not going to be like serving you or whatever. But there's like veggie samosas, so like potato and leek and pepper samosas, and like kimchi rice and a tofu curry, and then there's sesame and ginger rice balls for dessert set aside as well.
Well, damn!
I just ate, but now I'm hungry again.
Yeah, no. I don't think mine's gonna make it up to that. That's good.
Rozuk, I'll actually leave it up to you. I know Rozuk's emotional state in his relationship with Che is kind of,
Rozuk
unsure.
Lit all the furniture on fire.
So Leeko, you walk into a burning inn. It's just a flame.
Slow dancing in a burn.
When we said Che was standing behind the table, we meant that in the loosest possible way.
I think for like the majority of like this prep, the pre-shift prep we had between all of us, where like we're sort of just like watching, maybe like not really contributing much, just sort of like in his own thoughts. But at some point, like close to the very end when Ren had everything set up around. I think Rozuk would contribute this idea for like the centerpiece, because he knows that, you know, Che wasn't able to get the touch of winter, and he had this idea for like a candle, but to do like this crystal formation around it, so that the light going through the candle would have this like glinting effect on the entire room.
So halfway through whatever shenanigans Osa and Ren were up to, Che sort of sits down and starts messing with his crystals just like on the floor. And you can tell if you look at him at any point in this process that he is trying to make incredibly thin and delicate like sticks and very, 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 very thin and delicate sheets of these little petal shaped pieces of crystal. He is trying to form panda lilies, which only grow on calderas. So he will, at whatever point that Rozuk comes on over to suggest that, he'll be like, thanks, Rozuk. Yeah, I'll try to include it all. And I think the final product would have been, the centerpiece is this sort of like twisting, like candle holding structure with like a lit candle in the middle, but out of it are these little removable panda lilies, just completely made out of crystal. And he will take one out, because they are removable, and walk over to Leeko, who is still not moved, and hand it to her. And yeah, would you like to have dinner with me? Just me.
Yeah.
To be fair, Osa made all of this. It's all completely no meat. It's all good to go.
It smells really, really good.
It does. It's been very difficult not to try anything. But you're here. So if you want to get started, we can.
Yeah, let's eat.
And I'll like walk into her seat.
Yeah.
I'll pull up the chair. Jay's going all 20 yards.
No, I'm not really accustomed to that because I come from the foggy spot.
Yep.
So
you just look at me, you're like, why are you holding my chair?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, are we sitting or are we going to stand?
I was just holding, I was going to push in the chair for you as you, it's like,
oh,
it's just what I was taught. I'll just let you sit. And Jay will go to the other side.
No, okay. So I sit down.
He'll sit, sort of awkwardly scoot his chair forward.
Same here, just kind of try to get a little comfortable. And then I say, I didn't mean to judge you on how you were taught or anything. I just, I come from a place where we don't really have a lot of chairs. So,
right.
Yeah, it's just a little, sorry. I didn't.
No, it's good. I'm sorry.
I'm learning. Yeah, no, it's okay.
I'm just nervous. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, me too.
Okay, good. Yeah, I just, I don't know.
You know, it's just dinner. We've had dinner before. It's okay.
Yeah, there are usually 3 buffoons around us for that.
Call them knuckleheads.
Ah, yes, that's right.
That's what I call them.
I like to think that it takes away from my own knuckleheadedness that they are there, like a sort of distraction. So it's feeling a little naked. Maybe that's a weird word to use. It's just like, unarmored. The food's great.
Mm-hmm. It smells great. So I just, Is it okay if I get some?
Yeah, no, let's dig in.
Okay, so I start to like pour me or serve myself some pieces of everything, and when I get to the last plate, I kind of put it down and then I go, is there any like water or something?
Is there any water?
Of course there's water.
Yeah. There's like a pitcher on Shay's side, and he'll sort of stand up and reach over and pour it into your cup.
Okay.
Yeah, the flower. I don't know if you noticed the flowers. They're panda lilies. They only grow on the caldera of a volcano. He was insane, so maybe it's not good to bring him up. But Naza used to have him on his desk all the time. Not really sure why. They kind of wilt really fast, and pretty sure you can again only get them from a caldera. So, anyways,
I know that's really it's actually really cool that there are flowers that grow near a volcano. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that.
Yeah.
The whole candle glowy crystal thing was Rozuk's idea.
So did everybody help you with this?
And you look up to the stairs, and their heads are just poking around the corner.
I was going to say exactly that.
Yep.
I was going to say exactly that.
Yeah.
For the record,
Okay,
Red is still trying to pull them back all the time.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
You can't.
You see their heads briefly, and then they get pulled back behind the corner.
With a quick peek from Ren.
You just hear, I don't think she saw us.
Okay, so they helped.
Yeah, I did not ask them to, in my defense. Although my plan probably wasn't great. On its own. I thought it was pretty good, but it was a very similar setting, right? But we'd have like the touch of winter as like the center stone. That's all I really wanted that far, by the way. I didn't really care if they had their rock, if I'm gonna be honest with you. It was nice to help Ren, but like I just thought it would be cool, you know.
So Leeko starts laughing a little bit. You wanted to steal a stolen rock to impress me? I
was gonna borrow it, like, but yeah, basically yes. That was every time I'm explaining this, it is becoming more and more ridiculous. And I'm not changing any of the details, so I'm pretty sure that just means that it's ridiculous.
That's okay. I was wondering why, but it's okay. And you almost lost your legs. So
yeah, that is.
Yeah.
That did almost. I hadn't really thought about that.
That's okay.
I just kind of woke up and everything was fine, so probably didn't really take the time to register that.
I was there.
Yeah, I'm
glad you're okay, by the way.
You said that, yeah. You left right away though. I was a little worried. I'm sure you're just checking on Rue though.
Sort of. It's just, I don't know, like that. Last time we spoke, you were telling me that you don't feel the same. And I started to wonder if I felt the same too. Like, I don't know, I've just been feeling like I've been stuck. Like there's no, like, what are we doing really? I mean, man, like, And why is it taking us so long to do it? And what happens after that? What's my purpose in all of this? And this is long before you spoke to me about it. And I'm not sure what else you remember, but I remember after I lost my arm, that's when I started feeling different. I mean, I there's pieces of me that are familiar that I do recognize and that do come out. But I don't know, what you told me, I related to it more than I probably let on.
Jay's brow's kind of furrowed. That's kind of relieving to hear, but also I feel like I should point out that I didn't think you felt different. You always felt the same to me. And maybe this was a little self-serving, all of this. I just really want to believe that it's gonna be all right, that it's gonna be okay to feel different.
Well, Che, you got me smiling again, so I feel like it will be okay. But I just didn't want... The reason why I came back here is because I didn't want you to think that I was mad at you, or... I am mad at Rozuk, because he took...
Fair.
Yeah.
Horrible betrayal.
I'm not mad at... Okay, that's a bit extreme, but yeah, for sure. I think we should cut his head off, because he stole my dragon.
Immediately. Totally fair.
Absolutely.
And you're saying all this because Rozuk has poked his head out of the corner again.
But, no, I just wanted to make sure that you knew that, it's not you. And I also wanted to make sure that you knew that, I don't understand completely, but I think I understand in my own way. And I want to, I hope everything will be okay, but I've already lost an arm, and I'm trying not to make that my identity, but I still cry at night about it. And sometimes I feel like I reach for things with it, and if my arm's not, this arm isn't attached, I realize it's not there, and that makes me sad. And then sometimes it hurts, where the rest of my arm used to be like my hand, but it's not there. So it just feels like a new me that I have to get used to, but there's still parts of me left over. And I just don't know what I'm supposed to do anymore.
Well, I know the not knowing what to do next very well. I guess Ren made it pretty clear to me recently that I told you that I wasn't ever going to apologize for your arm, for the decision to cut off your arm. But I do owe you an apology because it is hurting you, and I hate that it's hurting you. But I really thought the choice was between you and your arm, and I didn't want to be in a world without you, so I picked you. I'm sorry, and I want to do whatever I can to make that easier for you.
Did Che just apologize out loud?
I'm pretty sure my name is still Che, so yes, that was
the Che.
The Chaenao launcher, actually. Yes.
Yes. But I've heard it so many times.
I know.
There's one time you said it over and over.
You get excited one time and everybody just holds it against you forever.
I thought it was appropriate.
Thank you.
But yeah,
it felt right at the time, to be fair.
Oh, it was definitely a scene.
Yeah. One might say like a big moment in my life.
Yeah. Well, who's to say I wouldn't have said the same thing if I...
You would have said Chaenao launcher?
Oh, absolutely. Well, who else's name would I say? We don't have to talk about... Yep, it's okay. We'll skip to the next. Yeah. I just take a big gulp of water. Yeah. No, I really do appreciate that, and I think I was being selfish too when I said I didn't want to lose it. Because in all honesty, I don't know what I would have done without you. And I could say the same about every single one of you, but definitely you the most.
Also, I want to be very blatantly clear. I don't really care about Iron, only in the tangential sense that he sort of caused the situation where you got hurt. And I feel like you might have a grudge against him for the things that he's done. And then if you do, totally down with hunting him down. But just to be clear, whatever you want to do, we'll do. You don't have to feel tied into any plot lines or any, grand destinies. I'm not any more about that than you are. So whatever you need, we'll go do. Figure it out together.
Well, I think I'm going to have to take you up on that one because I don't know what I need.
And we'll find out.
I know I'm still mad. I'm mad at Iron.
An emotion I understand acutely.
Yeah. And I am interested in what all this prophet story is about. I don't even know who my parents are, not really. I would be lying if I said a part of me isn't curious as to where I come from or if there is a grand purpose for me. I just like to choose that path for myself. But right now, I just don't know. You guys called me like the leader of the group not too long ago, and I don't feel like much of a leader or anything.
She'll reach out, and if your hand is like on the table, he'll like hold it, and he'll say, "There's nothing you need to do differently. You may not feel like our leader, but you are. You may not know what to do right now, but you will know what to do. And if you need help, we'll help you figure it out. And if you want to talk it out, we'll talk it out."
And how do you feel about yourself then?
Well, we will work on that.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
See that?
We will work on that slowly.
Together?
Yes, together.
Yeah.
Slowly.
And as the two of you sort of laugh, it echoes. And the camera starts to like fade to black as we just see the like glinting of the crystals within, but ties in. And the morning comes, and it is time for you all to get ready for the Dust Bowl. So the 5 of you head down to where all the other racers are gathering, and you see Mellor and Hin, and they sort of see you and wave, beckon you to come over. Morning.
Morning.
You two geared up, ready? Do you need to, I don't know, put your racing pants on?
Guess we can stretch. Rozuk, you want to stretch it out?
Okay. Rozuk sort of cracks his knuckles and then turns his body a couple times in both directions. He goes, "All right, ready. Let's."
All right.
He's doing full calisthenics.
Okay. Just past here, it's just for racers. So, well, I wish your friends good luck, I guess.
We wish you luck.
You guys got be careful, right? You're gonna be smart and don't take any risks you don't need to.
And it's like,
Who's smarter
but we're
than
gonna
the
win
Launcher
too.
brothers?
I have full trust in Che's mechanical abilities, and I'm sure he'd decked the ship out.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Rozuk.
Hin, can you point out which of these teams are the biggest threat to you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. We were gonna go over that with.
I just
Che
imagine like a
and
Borderlands style snap cut to each team with the logo of their team.
That's 100% what happens actually, because you see a group of 4. Obviously, each team's of 4. The distinctive thing that they're wearing is that each of them have a tiger monkey mask on, and Mellor is like, those are the greased tiger monkeys. They're led by Ramon. Who actually, I haven't seen Ramon today. That's weird. So I guess they must have found a replacement for him. Yeah, that ride looks crazy. And you kind of look behind them, and they're working on this sand sailor that is half wood and then this metal, and it almost looks like there's an engine, a small engine on it, but an engine nonetheless. Okay, and then it pans to another group, and they're wearing the rest of them are all wearing just sort of blue robes, the 4 of them, and it's a sand sailor that's a little bit longer and more sled-like than the other sand sailors you've seen, but along all the sides are a bunch of these spikes. Those are the Sandy Gals. It's an all-women racing team, and they're tough. They haven't won in a while, but they usually end up in the top 3. And then it pans to another sand sailor. This one looks more tank-like. It's less sleek-looking, and in the walls, it's got all of these slits where it looks like somebody can poke out, put a hand out, all that sort of stuff. And you see 4 people. There are 3 women and 2 men, and they're wearing these long flowing black robes. Those are the sandwiches. They're doing okay. They've won some of their races, this preliminaries, but I'd look out for them. They're pretty safe inside of there. Yeah.
Do they have an extra person?
No, there's three women and 1 man. Did I say 2 men?
Yeah.
Well, that's silly. It's a 4-man team.
He's just so big that he looks like 2 men.
Oh my gosh, you're right. That's just 1 person. Yeah, I thought that was 2 people.
It looks like it, but he's moving too naturally for that to be.
No, it's not awkward enough for it to be two little people in a trench coat. I think it's just one guy. Yeah. We'll go with that for now.
One big dude.
And then it pans to the next one. It's like a normal looking sand sailor that you would see in Avatar Legends, except that it looks like there are like two notches inside of the slits, the ramps on the sides. And there are 4 men manning that one. And I can't believe you didn't give me another name, Danny.
Well, Steve gave you
like 3 or 4 at you. Just look further up the chat.
Oh, I didn't even see those. I didn't see that.
Two more men, but it's the rough and tumble girls.
4 men. Those are the rough and tumble girls. We've been begging them to change their name because, they haven't had a girl on their team in a very, very long time. They've never even had like a non-binary person on the team, so like
they're all just fake woke feminists.
Yeah, they really are. Thank you, Rozuk. And then the last one is it's a very normal looking sand sailor, except that I kind of wasted it because this one is a very normal looking sand sailor. But the thing that stands out is that it is manned by 4 just burly looking tattooed men, like huge. That is Desert Storm. And
yes.
I'm terrified. Let's just say don't get in their way. All right. They're gonna run over any sort of person or group of people or political system that gets in their way. Yeah, I mean, and then those are the 5 sort of like main combatants. There are a bunch of other like smaller sand sailors, but those are the people that Mellor and Hin point out to you as being the people to look out for when you're racing.
All right, well, they're all mostly made out of wood, so bombs are still an option. And I'm good.
All right. All right. Just past here is for racers only. So you're gonna have to part for a little bit.
Good luck, everybody. You're gonna do great.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Just as you guys turn to walk away, I'm gonna grab Chase's sleeve, and I just say, "Oh, I'm gonna do what I can to help you guys while you're out there. All right?
Nah, we got it.
Just
don't even worry.
I'm worried about it. I'm gonna do what I can.
Oh, okay, well, if I can't stop you.
Yeah, that's true. All right, good luck.
Thanks.
I go up to Che and I say, "Be careful." And then I give him a hug and I whisper in his ear, "Destroy them."
I will.
And then I walk away.
Love that.
And
first kills for you.
Mellor and Hin say, "We're just gonna go take another lap around the Sand Sailor. Feel free to just loosen up and relax a little bit." And the twins head off, giving Rozuk and Che a moment alone before the race starts.
That Sand Sailor looks insane, man. That's really a great job.
Yeah, I mean, they really insisted on having like 2 runners, but they really only need 1. It's going to significantly reduce the amount of friction. We should be able to go a lot faster than any of these and turn faster.
If we just take all the other sailors out, then we won't have to worry about going faster.
Yeah, I mean, that's also an option. I got bombs. We could aim the like flame jet like funnels that I made for you, like at someone behind us, and you could take them out.
Right. Yeah. What were you saying?
I was gonna ask, where'd you go?
Oh, yeah, I guess that was a good time to. He sort of looks back at maybe like the group still standing at the entrance looking at them, and he looks over to Mellor and Hin. Yeah, I guess this is like good as time as any. I went to talk to our mom and Naozao.
The mention of Naozao, Che's face just like, it was sort of like, he's excited today. It just completely drops, straight face. Why?
There were just some things about me that I needed to find out about. I really just had questions about my father. That's really the only reason. I kind of told him that he's probably never going to see me again when I left, so.
I probably stung him real good. It's nice.
Yeah, that's the only reason I had that little cherry on top.
Nice done.
And, I feel like I kind of stung Mom too, but
hey, the last conversation I had with her did not go very well either. So I feel that.
Oh. But how was it while we were gone?
Well, I built this thing.
Yeah.
Ren helped. Leeko did not. The twins were there, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I tried. I got blown up. You were there, kind of there for that.
Yeah.
Fought 5 dudes on my own. Realizing that it's not something to brag about as I'm saying it.
Yeah, it sort of put you in a hospital, but you're fine now.
It did. I didn't actually take out the one guy that was Ren.
Well, I mean, you're fine now. And throughout this entire conversation, Rozuk is just kind of looking at Che like kind of like he maybe almost wants to ask a question, almost like, I don't know if this is like a term you can use to describe a look, but almost like a knowing look, almost like a searching look, like as he's just sort of looking at Che and we're having this conversation.
Che's eyes are everywhere else. He is. And here's the sailor, and and then pointing at the twins. Yeah, they're over there. And
how are you feeling about the race? Are you nervous, excited? I heard it's supposed to be pretty dangerous.
Clearly I'm very attracted to danger.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, we're pretty well prepared. We'll be fine.
All right. Well, I think we should get to it.
Racers, get to your sand sailors.
And we're gonna need a big burst of flame from you right up front.
Heck yeah.
Everyone gets to their sand sailors. And you hear 5, 4, 3, 2.
Probably should have established this last night, but the Mother of Faces took my memories of you.
I know.
1.
And then he launches the flame.
And we will see who wins the Dust Bowl next week.
Oh, wow.
Incredible. That was the cutest thing we've ever had on this podcast.
Oh my god. Why was I actually nervous?
So
you
good.
went full Che. You went full Che.
I was like, what?
Yeah, Nick's never coming back. We just have Che now.
Good stuff.
At least have Chaenao now.
I was very genuinely instantly transported back to high school, and me and my friends used to always try and like help each other figure out how to impress girls and stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Oh man, you're always so excited when it works for one of them too. Mm-hmm. Well, wonderful stuff, all of you. I am just very thankful to have such wonderful players. And Steve, any words for our listeners?
I'm in love with Chaenao. And if you're in love with Chaenao and you'd like to support this budding romance, you can hop over to our merch store, link in the show notes. We haven't talked about our merch store in a bit, but it's a great way to help fight the evil empire of fast fashion and help us at the same time and rep some cool stuff. So feel free to head over there. And thank you so much for listening, everybody. My goodness, I feel so many feelings.
Well, we'll just have some good old-fashioned violence next week, so we'll get rid of those lovey-dovey feelings pretty quickly. We hope you've enjoyed exploring the Four Nations with us. This is the Flying Bison Podcast. We'll see you next week. Bye.
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 See you.
Bye.
The Flying Bison Podcast is an independent podcast. If you feel like directly supporting the show, please check out our Patreon. While the Flying Bison Podcast seeks to emulate the tone of Avatar: The Last Airbender, this is an improv tabletop role-playing game, and the actors may briefly depict scenes with more mature story elements. Avatar Legends is developed and produced by Magpie Games. The worlds of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Avatar: The Legend of Korra are property of Viacom CBS. Intro music is Dizu by Sendai, and outro music is Tokyo Funk by LATG Music. Logo and art by Cate and Matthew Mahnke. You can find more of their work at comican.com. Link in the show notes.